Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver G. This is the Earful Tower coming at you from Paris. And today we're going to be talking about something you may have noticed if you've been in Paris recently. There has been a veritable explosion on the coffee scene. What do I mean by coffee? Because there's been cafes in Paris forever. I mean specifically specialty coffee, the kind of place where you go and get a flat white and sit and maybe have a nice piece of cake, do a bit of people watching, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. I've talked about it on the show before. And the guest today is Guy Griffin, who you've certainly heard on the show before. He runs Café Mérico in the 11th, and he ran Café Oberkampf before that, also in the 11th. So without further ado, let's hear what Guy has to say. Let's get into it. Guy Griffin, when I say friend of the show, I mean you've been around since...
when was the walk?
I can tell you, it's before you opened...
Oh yeah, so it's like 2017, 2016?
Is that when you opened Mérico?
I got the keys like beginning of 2017 because we announced, didn't we? We announced
So I'm going to start, I know this is uncomfortable, I'm going to start with a thank you and a compliment.
Oh, sorry.
Because you, like, even just that, you took a gamble on that. We did a live walk, what was that, 8 years ago? Do you know people only just sort of started doing live YouTube stuff a lot more now?
Yeah.
I really took a gamble there, and you did. I was like, let's do a walk. I don't think we even knew each other that well.
Not that well.
And I was like, let's walk down from your current Café Oberkampf to the new place you haven't opened and answer questions from Earful viewers around the world. And you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Well, I mean, it wasn't much of a risk because you could actually sense that you're gonna kill it.
I thought you were going to say because no one would be watching. But then, thank you. But then since then, we've done a bunch of other stuff together, and you've been really supportive of all the projects that I've done. So I start on a sincere thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
But now I want to talk coffee. Let's start with the definition. There'll be people listening from far reaches of the world who don't like, they think, you know, what's new? What do you mean by new coffee shops? Can you just give us the definition?
Well, I think like your Anglo and international customers. Some of them are clients. Listeners will understand the whole specialty coffee thing because it's developed way earlier than it did in France.
Right.
So they're going to understand the whole notion of coffee shop and drinking specialty coffee. But France, it was 12, 13, maybe 14 years ago. It was really, really new. That's when like the first people were starting to open places.
But then how does that compare to, let's say, Australia? I mean, was that way before that then?
Australia was way before. Yeah. And they sort of, Australia or New Zealand, that's a bit of the debate. Like,
really, is it?
A bit, yeah. It's like the whole thing about who invented the flat white, whether it was Australia.
We do that with everything. With like desserts and actors and everything.
But I think, Australia sort of revolutionized the coffie industry in that they started roasting differently. It's more about that, the way the profiles of roasting. It gets a bit technical afterwards. But then the Australians sort of like traveled a lot and brought it into Europe, and then so France has caught up because we learned from other people's mistakes and everything, and so we've caught up on London, we've caught up on America and Australia.
It says a lot, I think, about Paris as well, that not necessarily slow on the uptake, but firmly stuck in some old ways.
Totally.
Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, totally.
Can we rewind about you as well? You're half and half, right?
I'm half English and half French. Yeah.
So you've really got a finger on two pulses there.
Yeah, sort of. And but I discovered specialty coffee maybe 12 years ago. Yeah. And it was through traveling to Australia at first.
There's a lot of that as well, isn't there? It's not just Australians going places, it's people coming down to Australia.
Well, for me, it wasn't just like discovering specialty coffee because, of course, being half French, we do love good produce. So whether it's wine, food, and then this was coffee. So I think one of the first places I went to was 10 Bells, which was Rue de la Grange aux Belles in the 10th, and they were making amazing coffee. And so, but then it was more the lifestyle that actually appealed to me, like going to Australia. I think it was like the place was in Sydney, and it was like Porch and Parlour, and I was just like, wow, I was an architect at that moment, and I just went there and I was like, wow, this is what I owned a restaurant as well at that moment, which was more of a wine bar and shared plates. And then it was just like, okay, wow, this is what I want my day-to-day to be.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was more of the lifestyle and the food offering and the sort of like savory and healthy breakfasts
Yeah.
and all that evolves around it.
It's cool to hear you talk like that because I think there's sort of listeners to this show who I know there's cool contemporary cosmopolitan people who know exactly what you're talking about, but I'm very aware that there are people who are thinking, what's this guy talking about? They've been making coffee and brunch in Paris forever.
Well, it's the same as the wine industry. Like there are two ways of drinking coffee. There's and you've talked about it many a time, just like sitting in any sort of brasserie, having a coffee, and not the actual drink that comes into your cup isn't that important because you're actually watching people, watching Paris and stuff like that. And it's the same for wine. Like sometimes you're going to sit in those places and they're not going to talk to you about the vigneron or like they're going to just say Côte du Rhône or Brouilly.
Yep.
And so you don't really know what you're getting in your glass.
Yep.
But it doesn't really matter because you're on a terrace and you've got a friend that who smokes cigarettes. And so that's why you're outside drinking a bad glass of wine and things like that. And then sometimes you want a different experience and you'll go to a trendy wine bar where the person's going to talk to you for 10 minutes about the wine that's going to go into your glass. And the place isn't going to maybe be as comfortable or as, picturesque or something like that. So it's going to be more about. So in France, I do feel that there are those two very different experiences.
But it makes, like you said, it makes sense. It's always made sense that just the idea of like blending different coffee beans and roasting it different ways, and it's just like wine. It makes absolute
totally
sense.
like wine.
But also, I want to pull you up on one thing. You keep saying France. You mean Paris, right? How's it going in the rest of France?
It's the same. Like the rest of France has really developed. Like places like Bordeaux, I think I don't know how many roasters they have now, but it started off with just I think it's Pia. And now there are plenty other more. There's La Chimiste and places like that.
My wife was in Annecy.
Yeah.
And I knew they used to, shout out to Bunna, Bunna, that I went to on our honeymoon 8 years ago. Great. And then she went down recently and she said, oh, there's more.
Yeah.
So even in smaller towns.
The roasteries, like I know that Lomi have like sort of gone out of Paris and everything and they're roasting. It's because it's also... You can roast from everywhere, so why not have a nicer lifestyle, and like roast in the countryside? Rents are cheaper, and the market's not newer, so people have been going to Marseille. Marseille on the food scene is like going off the charts.
Yeah.
It's like it's amazing.
Is it the cool place to be?
Too much at the
moment.
Can
you hang out down there? Do you get by? You're a pretty cool dude.
I used to live in next door. I used to live in Aix-en-Provence, but that's very different from Marseille. So I do feel a bit lost in Marseille. Marseille's a weird city for me because it's like an aggregation of little pockets.
Yeah.
And so you have really cool pockets, and then in between it's really gritty and unwelcoming. And then you're going to jump into another little pocket that's really cool. At the moment, it's a bit too cool for school for me at the moment. There's a lot of Paris people that have gone down there.
I'll give it 20 years before I go and check it out.
Yeah, maybe. I think,
It's too cool for me.
It's a bit too cool.
Let's bring it back to Paris, though. I want to talk about so now we've given a good grounding. Excuse the pun? Ground coffee? Little pun?
It's too early for me to do those, I'm afraid.
Whoa, okay. But the kind of head topic, and you and I sat down and had a coffee and talked about this recently, and I want to get into the nitty-gritty here. The coffee scene, anyone who lives here has noticed it's exploding here. Exploding. Like, if you go down Rue Oberkampf...
No, it's nuts.
Nuts. I think about 10 coffee shops, cafes have opened there in the past couple years.
I think if you do like a perimeter of 500 meters, there's at least 15 to 20 coffee shops.
Okay.
In different levels. Like now I try... Like for now, almost organically, we've been... dissociated from the coffee shop scene. Like seeing as we do, sorry, when I say we, I mean Café Méricot. Yeah. Seeing as we do savory food and we have a proper kitchen with like real chefs, we've sort of become more of a restaurant. And it's also we've been forced out of that scene. And which is, I'm very happy about that because there are too many coffee shops. As a business owner, there are too many coffee shops, too much competition. But yeah, there has been like, so 12 years ago when we opened not 12 years ago, it would be 10 years ago now, when we opened Café Oberkampf, there was few of us but a lot of us opened at the same time. Like there's Peloton, Steel, I'm trying to think of others, but like, and Lomi, Coutume were already there.
Yeah.
And there was like a wave of like over 6 months, Neighbours. So
KB.
There was KB, and it used to be Neighbours, but before then it was another name. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Dan.
Which one? Tell me, maybe we can get it.
It was
Where?
No, but they've gone. They've moved back to Australia.
Okay, yeah.
They're doing most amazing crumpets in Australia.
That's a good enough shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 years ago there was a bit of. I mean, that's hardly an explosion though.
No,
that's
I mean, there was a lot. Like 20 opened in 6 months.
Yeah.
But that was like it was one per neighborhood.
Yeah.
A coffee shop in the 15th, and then a lot closed, and I think there may be I don't know 10, 15 of us from that generation that are still going. And now, recently, in the past couple of years, we have seen another boom of coffee shops, and this time round, it's nuts.
Go on, put a number on it.
The number of coffee shops.
Yeah. How many have opened? How many are there in Paris today?
I reckon like a bit over 200.
Yeah.
A bit over 200 that use the label coffee shop.
They call themselves coffee shop, they make specialty coffee shop.
Yes, but then there's a difference between like a coffee shop that really have the experienced staff behind the bar that can.
Well, that's something we want to get into here too. This sort of idea of entrepreneurs and business schools taking over the concept, not necessarily brilliantly, but seeing that there's something here. But gosh, it's a long question, but also maybe not getting it right and sort of maybe not earning money from this gamble. I want to get into that, but first I just want to sort of go back from my perspective. You say that I agree. I guessed before we started recording, I guessed there was about 300. So I remember from my perspective doing these stories when I started the Earful Tower where I ranked things per arrondissement, the best restaurant, the best coffee shop and so on. And when I first did that, which was like 2018, it was pretty easy because there was only 1 or 2 per district, and some of those districts I really struggled to find anything, right? And if I were to redo that list today, I think it'd be really hard because, to be fair, you should visit all 200 or 300 of them.
Totally.
I don't how by the time you've seen them all, new ones are opening.
Yeah, you've gone from a 10-page fascicule to like a massive novel,
like a manifesto.
Three tomes of.
But like even for no offense, but for the 11th district, I would stick with you out of our long-term friendship here, but there's got to be 50 there or something.
Oh yeah, and in some ways it's good. That means like it's meant to be a local business, so you're meant to be able to like just go down and just walk 20, 50, 100 meters to go get your coffee, whereas before you would have to like cross Paris.
I remember I had a guy in the show. It was Frank Barron, the guy Cake Boy Paris, and I think he used to go to Oberkampf a lot.
Yeah. Like, and a lot of those clients from that time I don't see as much anymore because they don't need to travel that far.
There you go. He talks about going to Coutume in the 7th just to get a good coffee.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And now you don't need to so much, and because not only is it like there's more practical options, but also there are great options.
Yep.
Like there are some like I would say at least 75% of these places that have opened are doing good coffee and good work.
Yeah.
But the problem is that like a lot of the time these people don't come from the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
And so they underestimate the actual the workload that goes behind it. And also there's just a lack of staff. Like there aren't enough baristas out there to actually work in these coffee shops.
Right. Well, how about from a client perspective, people listening thinking, good God, there's 275%, so there's 150 good coffee shops in Paris. How am I going to choose one? What would you say to that?
Well, I think a lot of the time, because sometimes you're also talking to maybe like 5% of customers that can actually really make the difference between a very good coffee and an excellent coffee. Like it's all a palate thing as well. It all depends on what you're used to drinking on a day-to-day basis. So I think, it's more about, I think today, the traveling to get a product or get an experience is more about the food.
Yeah.
I think because we all pretty much use the same milk.
Yeah.
We all like foaming milk isn't that hard.
How many people are going for oat milk and whatever?
A lot. It's going.
What's the percentage?
I would say like 35 to 40% of the people are going.
That's interesting.
oat
That's
milk.
changing.
Yeah.
I switched.
Yeah.
You almost fell off your chair yesterday.
I thought you were joking. You've gone from a flat white to an oat milk cappuccino.
I know, yeah. I just, there's a story behind it, but it's not that interesting.
But it's the same story as everyone. It's just more about digesting.
Yeah.
Because oat milk.
I told you it wasn't interesting.
Yeah. No, but it's not for ecological reasons for a lot of people. Because and also health reasons. Because oat milk's not actually the most healthiest. Because there's a lot of sugar and. But yeah, you just can't stock all the milks in the cafe.
I went to a coffee shop and asked for oat milk, and then when I was drinking, I was like, it tastes like coconut milk. And I said to them, I was like, did you use coconut? Just out of curiosity, I didn't care. I was like, did you use coconut milk? And she goes, no, the coffee had a coconut flavor to it. Do you think that's legit, or do you think she was messing with me?
I mean, it can. I mean, so if we want to get a bit technical, it's your brain and your palate that are distinguishing the flavors of the coffee.
Yeah.
Like a coffee doesn't taste of raspberry. It has perimeters that actually makes your brain think that it tastes of raspberry.
Right.
So it wouldn't make the whole drink taste like a coconut drink. that would be.
So she used coconut milk. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
All right, fair enough. Let's talk about your place. Firstly, by way of other places, I sit in empty coffee shops sometimes, and I just think, how do they survive? If a customer's coming in and there's hardly any customers, and the customer's paying $5, €5-6 for one coffee, sometimes maybe getting a little lemon cake for an extra $5. That's not enough to pay the staff if there's just one customer an hour.
Staff costs are so high in
tell me about it. I mean, I know about it because I got a company. I never talk about it though.
Staff costs are super high in France. So, for example, I'm just going to take a random number to make it easy. But if I was to pay an employee €1,000, it's actually costing me like 1,800.
You mean a month? 1,000 a month?
Yeah, sorry, 1,000 a month.
Which is around minimum wage as a random number.
No, but I'm just taking that number multiply it.
But I'm putting that into perspective for people.
I think minimum wage is now 1,300.
There you go.
Like
so
something
it's okay. It's in the vicinity.
For a 35-hour job. And so... Yeah, just having it, and it's hard because that's restaurant industry all over the world. It's like there's no guarantee to have a full house, or like one Tuesday you're going to be full, and the Tuesday afterwards you're going to be empty. So there's no way of, whereas in other countries you have a thing called casual staff where you can have someone come in just for a few hours, and then if it's empty, you can just say, hi, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
Whereas in France, the laws are very strict about that, and they really protect the employee, which is a good thing. But it just means for a business owner, it's really hard to staff. And so staffing is a major part of the business plan. So staff costs are really high, rents are high, especially when you want to come into places like the 11th where the rents have really gone up. And so, yeah, I'm very curious about the business plans of these new places that they're opening up. There are two things. The business owners are quite young, so I reckon they're actually prepared to pay themselves a very low salary and make a lot of sacrifices at the beginning. And then pretty soon they're going to find themselves being stuck in their business, realizing that they can't extract themselves from their business. So they're going to have to be working there on a day-to-day basis, putting in the 50, 60, 70-hour weeks to make the business turn over. So that's going to be a problem at one moment. Like for me now, I'm in that phase where I don't want to be there from opening to closing, and like I have a daughter, and I want to be able to drop her off and pick her up and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I don't think comes into their minds when they're doing their business plan. And then the other thing is, like, all these coffee shops that are opening are not opening with kitchen staff most of the time. They're going to have maybe like one pastry chef or one person like that.
Right.
And that's the issue that we have at Café Méricourt, is like, for a 50 square meter, I have like 30 seats in the cafe. And on a weekend, there's 6 to 7 of us to actually be able to turn over.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're going to do like 200 covers maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday. But I need that many staff members to actually turn over. So that's a really high salary cost.
Whereas if you're in a country, in Australia, for example, you could call in a junior casual person to be taking orders, for example.
Exactly.
But
or
here
just
you
being
have to
at
have
the
them.
door, being at the door, taking names and stuff like that. Who'd be a student who'd be really happy just to be paid. Like, salaries are higher
in Australia. If you get a Sunday gig like that, sometimes it's double time or something. Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and so I suppose their business plan evolves around having smaller spaces, less staff, because a lot of these places are like they have a very small offer, but they do it really well.
Yeah.
Like their cinnamon rolls are going to be amazing. It's almost going to be like a mono product place. They're going to have one cinnamon roll, a hard boiled egg, and some good cheese that goes with it. They're going to have like 3 or 4 items on.
Do you think that's the dream for these smaller coffee shops? Is that they have something that people come in, get a coffee and a cinnamon roll, and do a takeaway and get out? Is that the dream customer?
Well, I think so, because it means you have like a percentage rate of 90% of your customers that are very happy, and part of that 10% are going to be people that are going to find it too expensive, because you are going to be paying like €5.50, €6 for a cinnamon roll.
What's the right price for a cappuccino in Paris? Okay, that's unfair. What is the price? So what are we talking about? There's no right price.
There's no right price, but to be able to start making, because in specialty coffee we lose a lot of coffee because we do the thing called like dial in, and we throw away shots if we don't extract the coffee properly, we're going to throw it away and like do it start again. So we lose a lot of coffee doing that. So I would say, and the price of all dairy products have really gone up in France. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I think it must be pretty much the same. I would say the right price for a single shot cappuccino would be like $5.50.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sometimes I see there's coffee shops. I live in the 12th, and the 12th hasn't caught up to the 11th yet. And sometimes you get even an oat milk cappuccino for like $4.50, and I'm always like, wow.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Our oat milk, our cappuccino's at $4.70.
Yeah.
And I know we're not. I know we're. It's just that we haven't. And that's my fault. We just haven't absorbed the inflation.
Yeah, that's a scary thought, because like the idea, if I ran a cafe and I realized it was time to put up my prices from $4.70 to $5.50 or $6 or whatever.
That's a big. So
that would annoy people.
Yeah, I should have been putting up my prices like 10 cents every year or something like that.
You know what? I've got a little shameless plug to myself here. I got, I do Patreon. It's the way this whole thing survives. They sent me a notification the other day, and they go, just a heads up, your main price, $10 a month, hasn't changed for 92 months.
Wow, it's amazing they look out for you like that.
Yeah, I think they're looking out for themselves.
Like, hey, we don't want you to go bankrupt. Please increase your prices.
I think they're looking for their cut. Those guys.
They take a percentage.
Yeah. But that's the same thing. The idea of changing a price.
It's so hard. We maybe like 6 months ago or something, we put our milk prices up. We kept the black coffees stayed the same for the past 10 years. I haven't increased my prices.
You haven't got that notification yet from?
No, well, I have got it from my accountant.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Same deal,
yeah. And we put our milk prices up by 20 cents.
Yeah.
And you could sense that no one complained because they understand, but a lot of people are like saying, oh, as the price has changed, they noticed that 20% increase. But it's because restaurants and businesses are suffering from inflation, but so is everyone else. It's like, that's why we're trying our maximum not to put our prices up, because I actually feel bad for other people as well, because everything's just going up so much.
I want to talk about tipping, but quickly. Is that uncomfortable to talk about?
No, not at all.
So this is, I see a lot of forums, people coming to Paris asking, should I tip? And even people here seem to be a little bit on two sides of the fence.
I mean, it's very, personality-wise, I find it very hard to ask for a tip.
Yeah.
And in some ways now, with their new credit card machines, they actually, at the end, they ask, would you like to leave a tip? In some ways, indirectly, it's asking for a tip.
Yep. And so you guys do that at Miracle?
Well, we've done it. We've started recently. I actually asked the staff, like, when the thing came out, like 2-3 years ago, if they wanted to do it. And most of the staff members said, no, we don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I sort of I started recently, maybe at the beginning of the year. It's been life-changing life-changing, sorry, that's a bit exaggerated, but it's a big bonus for the staff. So in France, services included, tips aren't.
Yep.
So it's not like you don't have to leave, and I don't think you should really leave 20%, which is like the standard in like a lot of countries. In France, you leave a tip if service was good, you enjoyed the experience, etc., and the waitress was nice or the waiter was nice, and so that's when you should leave a tip. And yeah, I don't know, it should be from like rounding off the bill, like if it's 19, paying 20, to leaving 5% or 10%, which is what the credit card machines suggest now. Like, would you leave? We've done 5, 10, 20.
Yeah,
and it's just for these. Some of them, we have like casual staff, like they're students on the side and stuff, and they have a good salary, which is pretty much the maximum I can do. Like the business doesn't turn over much of a profit. We're doing okay, and we're paying everything back. So, but just that going from €60 a month to now €300 a month. Yeah. Is a big, it's a massive bonus for them, and also for me, it's a good thing to I can use as a hiring point.
Right. You know, like it's a negotiation.
Negotiation, saying, well, wow, look, compared to another restaurant where they're not going to get any tips, here you're going to get this amount of tips. So I feel like I've asked them to not do it with regulars, not do it for takeaway, of course, because some places do.
A lot of places do not.
I don't find that okay. So I have given them rules, like saying, okay, we're going to put this in place, because it's also something that I pay for. Yeah, it costs me money to put that system into place.
Right.
So I'm like, yes, we can do this, but just be careful who, like someone that's been coming in for 8 years, I don't want them to feel like now they have to pay a tip. Like their regularity.
It's tricky too, because like when I go in there, I also want to support you guys, and I know you won't put a tip on me, for example. I mean, often you'll give me a drink. I don't know if that's illegal. Is it illegal, Guy?
Is it illegal?
But you know what I mean? Like, it's funny because there's people who want to support as well. Like if you had a 100% tip button, sometimes people would want to do that as well. You know, for sure.
But I think, I don't know, sometimes lunch, you want something, you want good value for money. Like going out for lunch and having, like, I don't know, like a shakshuka, like a small shakshuka at the cafe, which is a good portion to have for lunch. You don't need much more. It's served with great bread, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be €12. That on a day-to-day basis, €12 every day for lunch it's not nothing.
No.
So you don't want to have to add €1 to that.
I see what you mean.
Because you add €1 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So that's an average of 30.4 days a month over the year.
There you go.
So that's an extra €30 a month. So
it's a tricky thing. Like I think a lot of people would probably think that a busy looking cafe like yours is just absolutely killing it.
Oh, people think I'm a millionaire.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that you're not killing it, but I know that the struggle is real for anyone with a small business, full stop, in this country.
Well, I've chosen lifestyle and quality of life over money. Like if I was open in the evenings selling wine and alcohol, I would, and that's what happened when I had my wine bar. I was earning a lot more money having a wine bar, but I was finishing at 2 a.m.
Yep.
And so I've made those choices.
Yeah.
And I feel I feel grateful and successful because I've been doing this for
You're an OG. You're an OG now.
Yeah, and I've survived.
Yeah.
Like so many other places have closed.
Yeah.
And so I feel in that sense that it is a success because I'm paying all my staff.
Yeah.
I don't have any debts, and et cetera, et cetera. So in that way, and also, this is going to sound a bit weird.
Yeah.
But also, like, the accountants are going to say to you, like, careful, don't make too much money because you'll just get taxed. Yeah. It's like if you go over a certain bracket.
Yeah. If you were in the States, let's say, or Australia, but especially the States, you probably would have had a bunch of cafes by now. And
yeah, I mean, I tried. I got up to 4 establishments and was opening the 5th. Yeah. And then COVID hit and I was like, sat down. I was like, what's the point? Why am I working so hard for so little benefit?
Listen, I want to, because time's getting away from us, I want to talk specifically about Cafe Americo. Now, over the years since we first did our walk show is what I used to call them.
Yes.
Were you the first ever walk show?
I was, actually.
Wow, that's crazy. Where I used to do live videos walking and talking, like a talk show walking.
You don't do that anymore?
No, I haven't done it for years, but maybe I should.
It was quite fun.
Yeah, okay, watch this space. But COVID, kids, all these things happen too that change my strategies as well. But specifically for Americo, people have been coming in. My listeners come in, and we talked about this yesterday. And you were saying some of them come in and seek you out and say hello. I'm sure that some people don't come and say hello as well, and they just look at you. Do you ever feel people are looking at you?
Yeah, a bit.
And going, oh, there's the guy that I heard on that podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes, I think people are quite discreet about that.
Do you want people to say hi if they
Of course.
Yeah, they come and say hi.
Course,
Heard you on the
it.
podcast?
No, I really enjoy it, especially when they say that they enjoyed the podcast and things like that.
They're good tippers.
No, but it's a massive compliment that people like. And then at the end of the meal, saying it was like as good as you said it was on the podcast. It's like.
Well, let's get into that. I don't want to talk about the listeners, but I do want them to come in. But I want to talk about to end on this, what food you're selling and what your dream. You can be a sort of brain dead capitalistic, whatever you want. But what's the dream customer do when they walk in your door? And then you can tell me about some of the things on the menu to tempt people to come in.
Dream customer is someone that comes already already knowing what they want. So that means they're already slightly convinced that they're going to have a good experience.
Yep.
And then...
do you mean so that they don't sit down and go, what's this? Oh, do you do it like this? Do you mean, is it a question of time as well?
No. It's more about being disappointed because all our menus are like, in brackets, a classic like coffee shop brunch menu.
Yeah.
So we do like avocado toast but we've put a twist in everything. So our pancakes, we do pancakes, but our pancakes is made with orange blossom water, and we do a whipped ricotta with lemon zest and honey. So poached fruit and stuff. Because our idea was like, okay, what are we going to bring to the table that's going to make us different from other places? And so I have a very talented kitchen staff, and so I put them to the test, and we're changing things all the time. And so things that sort of like disappoint us or make us quite sad is when someone comes and sits down and was like, oh, we just wanted plain pancakes with maple syrup, and then they get up and leave and they're disappointed. Do you know?
I get
that,
okay.
That I feel like so someone that comes in that's already sort of like
savvy
and sort of looks up and sort of like saying, "Oh, I'm intrigued about those pancakes. I want to sit down and taste them." And then, so an ideal customer is someone that enjoys it. Like that's the ideal customer.
Okay, and now from a income perspective, obviously someone that orders the expensive things, but like, do you prefer that someone comes in and goes 3 takeaway coffees and gets out of your hair, or
no?
What's the dream?
I'm really annoying with my staff about customer experience. So the staff members, everyone says hello when you walk in, and you're greeted at the door and then accompanied to your table. Yeah. If the table's tricky to get to, you pull the table out and sit down. So no, I'm really about the customer experience. And I don't know, the financial side's tricky because I think that's pretty much why we're not making that much profit, because I keep things to the minimum. I don't want people to leave feeling bitter about their bill and like being like, oh, wow, all I had was, because you can, like a shakshuka can be like, oh, wow, I've just had this dish with all these different flavors and it was very subtle and extremely well balanced, blah, blah, blah. And it could also be like leaving and saying, wow, I just had tomato sauce with an egg in it and I paid €12. Do you know?
I get it. So you want savvy customers who know what they're, who are coming to explore the possibilities of what a brunch could be.
Yeah, maybe open-minded about breakfast. Like breakfast for me is an actual meal, like on the same level as dinner would be or lunch would be. So we try and treat breakfast in the same way we would treat we would have an evening restaurant or stuff like
I
that.
get it. But then you're not thinking that you want to kick people out as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? Like if you say you do 200 covers on do you think? I'm curious just as...
No, not if they're
you don't think like
enjoying
that?
the experience.
Yeah, that's very classic France.
Yeah, if the person is sitting down with a computer and has done it on purpose to leave like just the bottom of their coffee and not... then I don't... It's not so much the financial thing. It's like, for me, they're killing the vibe.
Yeah.
And also they're like blocking the table for someone who does want to come in and enjoy the experience.
You should make them drink that last bit of cold
Just
coffee.
pour it, or like walk by and knock it over. I'm like,
oh, you're finished.
oh damn, I'm sorry.
It strikes me, Guy, that you're a nice guy, and that like, which is lovely, and you want to keep the prices affordable and the food and the experience enjoyable and everything, which means it's going to be so hard to just become a millionaire.
Well, I mean, and also because we come back to the whole financial thing, is like the restaurant industry in France is very different from the rest of the world. We have a thing called le fonds de commerce, which is you're actually buying the business before you, even though you may not actually do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like for example, I bought Café Méricourt for 170,000 euros because that business before me wasn't doing very well, and the goal of a restaurateur, an entrepreneur, is to build up your annual income, because that's what normally beforehand it was what you based the sale on.
Yep.
And it's the whole system has completely crashed and probably won't go back up again. And so now I find myself in this situation where the cafe, I can't sell the cafe for its annual income because it makes too much money. And so my whole business plan has sort of dropped in that I was okay with not making massive profits each year and with not making sacrifices as well, because I knew at the end game I was going to have big lump of sum of money that I could reinvest, and it's not the case anymore. So that's slightly difficult to actually accept that. That today it loses all intérêt, its interest, I suppose, to actually open up a restaurant today without actually paying yourself a massive salary, which happens in like Australia or America. You just walk in, pay rent, get as much money as you can, and then just turn over and do something else.
It's a fickle business by the sounds of it here in Paris.
It's tricky. And so all these new places that are opening up, it's like, I don't know, survival for me sounds a bit complicated. But that's why I try to talk to people about it, because I'm very interested on what their business plan is, and that maybe I'm missing something in the whole equation. But a lot of the time they don't really have business plans.
I've got... one last question for you, and it's from a personal perspective. My style of visiting coffee shops in Paris is I tend to pledge entire allegiance to one place for 6 months. I go there pretty much every day, and then at the drop of a hat, around the 6-month mark, I almost never go back, and I find another place. I don't know why I do it, but that's just how I do it.
I think most people do that.
Yeah? Okay, well, my question that comes with it is, do you think the coffee shop owners and staff from the previous places that I used to frequent do you think they feel like I'm a traitor?
No. I do have, I know it's funny, I rode past him the other day and I saw that he was not taking the same route that he would take before to go to work. And like he would systematically come every day and have his espresso at the bar, blah, blah, blah. And it would be every day. And now he's sort of like stopped coming in and he probably goes elsewhere. And so you don't feel like, oh, you've abandoned me. Yeah. But it's also like, why aren't you coming in anymore? Yeah. What did I say something?
I had a cafe that confronted me about it in the 12th. And I explained to it. I was like, my allegiance shifts every 6 months.
I mean, I do the same.
Good.
Yeah, I do the same. Like I would go to this place every day and have like a coffee and a cake. And then I don't know, just things, and it's got nothing to do with.
Yeah, there's not even a turning point
No.
of one day you got a bad whatever.
No,
just-
and it's not boredom. It's not because you're bored of their
Yeah.
product, because you're going to have the same product elsewhere.
Good. Okay, well, on that note, everybody listening, if you're in Paris, you know where to go next. Café Méricourt on Rue de la Folie Méricourt. What number are you guys?
22.
22. Still green out the front, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
The green place right down towards the church end. Ignore all the other coffees on the way and go to Café Méricourt. Have lunch. Be a savvy visitor.
Yeah, you can go to other coffee shops.
No.
It will just make your experience at Café Miracle even better.
There you go. Okay, fair enough. There's confidence from Guy. Thanks for being on the show again.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good luck. It's fun to talk behind the scenes on this kind of stuff. So thanks for opening up and sharing it. And well, I'll be in for a coffee again soon. And as for you, best of luck with everything.
All right, and see you soon, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Say hi to Guy. Say hi to Guy. There you go, Guy Griffin from Café Méricourt. It'll be linked down below in the show notes. Go and say hi from me. Go and try out those delicious sounding lunches, or just pop in for a coffee. And let me know how it goes. Send a picture. Why not? I'm curious too. He's very photogenic, this guy. He's still here in the studio. But yeah, Café Méricourt, 11th arrondissement, and keep an eye out on these coffee shop explosion vibes happening in the city, because it's really changing the face of the city. Something that really would fit for a video, I think, soon to explore it all. As for me, my name's Oliver G. This is the Earful Tower podcast. If you like what you're listening to, don't even hesitate to become a member on Substack or Patreon, where, as I said before, $10 a month, you unlock all sorts of extras, including PDF guides to the city, extra podcast episodes, and more and more and more. Otherwise, book a walking tour with us, theearfultower.com/tours. Maybe I'll meet you in Paris one day. That'll do for me. This is the Earful Tower. I'm Oliver G. And au revoir.